Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's meeting of the Highways Committee, today being Monday the 29th of March 2021. By way of introduction, I'm Councillor Charlie Kay. I represent the Coundon Division on Durham County Council, and I'm chair of the county's Highways Committee. Along with me this morning, we have council officers. We have Mike Ogden, who is the Access and Rights of Way team leader. We have Josephine Upchurch, who is the Definitive Maps Officer. We have Claire Cuskin, sorry Claire, who is our Solicitor and Legal Advisor to the committee. Jill Etherington, who is the Senior Committee Administrative Officer. We have Lucy Gibbons, who is the Committee Services Officer at today's meeting, and we are supported by IT. This meeting will be going out live on the council's dedicated YouTube channel, and if I could just ask the officer to just go anywhere else, I can advise any members of the public who are listening, or is it just on our YouTube channel, Jill?
Chair, on our YouTube channel.
On our YouTube channel. So if you could just bear with me, so I haven't got the right glasses today, which we've been through the house meeting rules, so if we can move straight on. Do we have any apologies for absence?
Chair, we have apologies from councillors David Bell, Harry Bennett, Jude Considine, Paul Sexton and John Shuttleworth. Thank you. And
do we have any substitute members for those councillors?
No substitute members, Chair.
Well, with that in mind, we'll take the minutes of the meeting held on the 14th of December 2020. If somebody who was present could move them as a true and accurate record of that meeting.
Move them, Chair.
Thank you. Item 4 would be any declarations of interest, of which I'm assuming we have none. So we'll move straight into the business of the meeting. Item 5, which is the status of the public footpath number 56 at Watergate Lane in Crook. And we have the Definitive Maps Officer, Josephine Upchurch, who is ready to present her report. It's all down to you, Josephine.
Thank you. Would you like me to put the PowerPoint presentation of the evidence, share that on screen, or?
Yeah, I think that would be useful. Yeah.
Right. If you want me, as and when you want me to move through it, just let me know.
Well, just at your own pace, really, Josephine.
Right. Okay. Oh, no, I don't want to leave. Can everyone see the PowerPoint presentation? Yeah.
Yes, it's fine.
Okie dokes. So a historical documentary-based definitive map modification order was submitted in December 2018 on behalf of the British Royal Society, requesting that Durham County Council consider the evidence and agree to upgrade footpath 56 in the parish of Crook to a public bridleway, and that the definitive mapper statement be modified accordingly. Documents A and B of the Highways Committee Pack provide a map of the area and the application route. The most important documentary evidence submitted in support of the application is the Hunnick Edge Enclosure Award and Plan, which is endorsed by an Act of Parliament and are still legal documents to this day. That would be document F that you can see there. That's the Enclosure Award. So this just sets out and appoints the different rights assigned to the route. And this is the plan. And that's the blown up section that we're referring to where the route footpath 56 runs. And we also have the 1850 Greenwoods map, which is document K. Although there are lots of pieces of evidence with this one, those are the two most important bits, so that's what we're focusing on. Consultations were carried out with landowners and occupiers, user groups and organisations, local councillors and the parish councillors, and that's document C of the Highways Committee Pack. Objections were received from an affected landowner, and representations based on the evidence were received from George F. White on their behalf, and that is document D. Durham County Council's rebuttal statements are document DA. Letters supporting the proposed upgrade have been received from the British Horse Society and the Ramblers Association, and they can be seen in document E. And after a thorough investigation of the evidence, Durham County Council is satisfied that the legal tests have been met and recommend that the committee resolves to make a definitive map modification order to amend the definitive map and statement by upgrading footpath 56 in the parish of Crook to a public bridleway. And that's the summary of the report. Is there anything further that people would like me to add, or?
Do excuse me, Josephine, I was on mute. I shouldn't really. I'm sorry about that. Before we go any further, I do believe that the solicitor and legal advisor to the committee, Claire Cuskin, wishes to come in and give us some legal clarification. Claire?
Yes, thank you, Chair. It was just to summarise the legal tests for members before we proceed to hearing from the applicant or objectors and proceed to the debate. So the application must be considered pursuant to Section 53 of the Wildlife and Countryside Act 1981. This is a section which imposes a duty on the local highway authority to keep its definitive map under review, and the highway authority is required to make a modification order in the event that evidence is discovered by the authority which, when considered with all other relevant evidence, shows that the highway is shown on the definitive map and statement as a particular description ought to be shown as the highway of a different description. So the current proposal is to upgrade 750 metres of the current footpath 56 from a footpath to a bridleway. It's for members to assess the evidence and come to a decision as whether the Highways Authority ought to make an order to upgrade the route in question. It's important to note that the only considerations that the committee can take into account are those that relate to whether the alleged public right, currently a footpath, ought to be shown as a bridleway, as per Section 53. This involves an assessment of the relevant evidence. Just remind members that it would be unlawful to consider issues such as suitability or desirability of the routes, which is the subject of the application. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you for that. I hope that's clarified one or two things, and with that we'll move straight into objectors and applicants. I believe that we did have an objector who was desiring to speak this morning but is no longer available to attend, so he has presented a written submission. I could just ask the senior committee officer, are you intending to read that out, Jill?
Chair, no, I wasn't. It was actually the applicant's representative who isn't in attendance, and he said he would be happy for the committee to consider on the basis of his written representations.
Yes, I do say that was a mistake on my part. I do apologise. So we do have an objector, Mr. Taylor, and Mr. Taylor is here, I do believe, or he's present in the meeting. Is that correct? Are you there, Mr. Taylor? Sorry, Mr. Jackson.
Sorry, Chair, my mistake. It is Mr. Jackson who's not in attendance. It is the objector. I do apologise. So we have Mrs. Hurd and Mr. Rose, who are on behalf of the applicants or are in support in attendance.
Well, in that case, as per protocol, they will have 5 minutes to submit their support of the application. You can divvy it up between the two of you, whichever way you choose. Normally, we would go 2.5 minutes each, but as I say, it's entirely up to you to divvy it up as you see fit. So who is intending to go first? Could you make yourself known? Is it you, Mrs. Hurd? You've got your hand.
I wasn't actually intending to speak. I was happy with the representation. So.
Oh, and what about your colleague? Is your colleague with us? Or is that
no, neither of us intended to speak because we were happy with the report and the representation.
Oh, that's absolutely fine.
Unless you want to question anything, I would be delighted.
Well, I'll take that when I take it over to the members. We'll see if there is anybody wishing to question anything.
Thank you. I'll mute.
So the objector is not here. So well, with that, if officers don't want to add anything, I don't suppose there's anything to add. There's my dog. I'll put it straight over to members. Do any members of the committee? There's nobody signalling they wish to speak. Is that correct? I am so sorry about this. I'm assuming you can hear that dog.
Chair, we have no one registered to speak at the moment.
Except Charlie's dog.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that. I had put him on mute, I thought, but clearly not. Ah, we do have a speaker, a request to speak. Malcolm.
Yes, it's Councillor Stuart Dunn, not Malcolm.
Oh, I always get that wrong, don't I?
Representing the Coxo division.
I do apologise, Stuart.
This is a comprehensive application with an awful lot of historic evidence to back up and justify the existence of the path, but also the usage. And for one, I'm totally convinced of the evidence. So I'm more than happy to move the recommendation, Chair.
Well, thank you for that, Councillor Dunn. I have another member wishing to speak. You've come up as CM. Is that you, Councillor Morrison?
It is indeed. Thank you. Just to say, it's probably the most complicated report I have ever seen in my whole of my 8-year tenure in the County Council, and I just want to thank the officers for putting it together. But more importantly, actually drawing it to a very swift conclusion in terms of identifying what the legal ramifications are before they actually came to their conclusion, which I'm more than happy to support. So I will second the motion.
Well, there we are. It's been moved and seconded that we accept the officer's report and proposal. Can I ask the Senior Community Services Officer, it's been a little while since we've had a Highways meeting, do we take this in the same format as the County Council, or are we pursuing a different format on the vote today?
Chair, we do it as a roll call, and that will be done by Claire, the legal advisor. Okay,
Claire, you okay with that? You ready to go?
Certainly, Chair, yes. Thank you.
We are actually asking whether you are for or against the officer's proposal to upgrade the footpath to Bridleway. So we'll start with alphabetical order. I'm assuming, Claire, I'll leave it up to you.
Yes, Chair, thank you. So I'll take it. It's the recommendation I'll set out in paragraph 7 and 8 in the report that we make an audit upgrade footpath 56 from a footpath to a bridleway, and that we note that that will involve potentially a public inquiry. So I'll go through present members alphabetically. And if I miss anyone out, please let me know. So Councillor Dunn, could I take your vote first? Are you for or against the proposal, please?
For.
Thank you. Councillor Hicks, are you for or against?
For.
Thank you. Councillor Hopper, are you for or against?
For, thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Liddle?
For.
Thank you. Councillor Milburn?
For.
Thank you. Councillor Morrison?
For.
Thank you. Councillor Ormerod?
For.
Thank you. Councillor Rowlandson?
For.
Thank you. Councillor Simpson?
For.
Thank you. Councillor Turnbull?
Morning.
Morning, are you alright?
I'm good, can I move it there?
No, so you were closed. Yeah, the showroom was closed. What is it?
Sorry, Councillor Turnbull?
For.
Thank you. Councillor Wilson?
For.
Thank you. And unless you wish to vote, Chair, I think I've covered every member, and that's 11 in favour unanimously.
No, I think you're quite right, Claire. You've covered every member. It's unanimously approved that we accept the officer's recommendation to upgrade to Bridleway, subject to a potential or probable public inquiry. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I've got no other items of such urgent business. If you could just remain seated but muted until the officer advises us that the broadcast had finished, I'd very much appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for your attendance today, and whatever your political persuasion, if you're standing again, good luck, and if you're retiring, good luck.